Hello and welcome back to Cupid. The Marquis peeked from the open door and stepped inside. Hello, Kath. A tingling passed through Catherine's neck. Although she was aware he had returned, this was the first time she'd seen him in 2 years, after she rebuked his intentions of wooing her. Catherine shook her head at the memory. They grew up together. It was normal to develop feelings for someone you shared most of your life with, was it not? Catherine had promised herself not to dabble with the Marquis. With all the rumours of the past flings, it felt like she knew too much. Too complicated, she had reasoned. The rumours were still alive in some circles, but hadn't Guillaume come clean with his romantic escapades? Hadn't he vowed to be faithful since he had made his intentions clear? Who to believe? Perhaps it was possible that... Catherine pushed away the insinuation of the last thought and rearranged her face into a merry smile. She curtsied. "My Lord Marquis, thank you for coming." That last bit came out a bit too loud in her ears. It felt like her voice was compensating. She suppressed a groan. "I hope you found the show satisfactory." "My Lord Marquis? What happened to Gilly Monster?" At once the memories flooded her mind. They used to be her greeting every time she had visited him back then. She would scream that when she saw him right before she flung her arms around his neck. Catherine didn't know what to do. Suddenly her hands, the hands that had never betrayed her, felt like they belonged to someone else. She cleared her throat and felt the smile harden on her face. "Pardon my slight, sire. I was a bit of a precocious child. After all, I must give my due respects to the sponsor of this event. Thank you, by the way. It didn't have to be so extravagant." "Wasn't it your dream to play in Paris, Kath?" "I thought your debut would be the perfect opportunity to fulfill that dream." The Marquis stepped into her quarters and closed the door. Catherine flinched, afraid that the small room would draw them even closer. Just the effect he wanted, probably, the sly fox. She floundered for a bit and contented herself in fussing with the flowers on the table. She should chase him out. Why wasn't she chasing him out? Merde, Catherine. I didn't think you'd be attending tonight, sire. Weren't you travelling?" "Yes, I was. But I wouldn't miss your concerto for the whole of France." Guillaume stepped forward, and it seems my investments were well placed. Guillaume drew closer to Catherine, so near that she could smell the mint on his breath. He appeared to reach out to her face, but changed direction at the last minute. Oh, these flowers are from the Duke. How pretty." He examined the card, dangling a hair away from Catherine's ear, trying to look fascinated by the piece of decorative paper. Then he stepped back, grinning like an idiot. He really has great taste." "Wherever did you learn that, muckhead?" If he thought that kind of ploy would make her swoon, he was dead wrong. In fact, it all made her want to do was wipe that stupid grin off his face with the backside of the vase. "Yes, he does, doesn't he?" She gritted her teeth, unable to take the acidic edge off her voice. It wouldn't be so hard. All she had to do was grab the neck of the expensive vase and fling it at his head. She wasn't sure if the vase would break. Maybe not. Maybe she would need to hit him again for the full effect. "Catherine, did you hear what I just said?" "Huh?" "I said, now that I'm back in town, would you consider playing for me again? It was part of our original agreement, after all." She felt the tendons in her neck tighten. "I have a full schedule this week, sire, but I'll let you know when I'm free." "Oh. Sire, I must retire for the night. I'm exhausted from my performance after all. Excuse me." Catherine turned around and went for her coat, but she felt Guillaume grab her hand. Wait, They stared at each other for a couple of seconds. Guillaume looked like he was about to say something. His mouth opened and closed as if debating the correct words in his head. But he just dropped Catherine's hand a moment later. "I'm sorry. You're right, you must be tired." His shoulders dropped. Catherine felt a tinge of disappointment, but she ignored it quickly. Guillaume let out a sigh. "You know I am not good at this, Catherine." What do I know? You seem to do just fine. You have an amazing track record." "Huh?" Catherine folded her arms over her chest with a pout. Oh, that. That is just because of my face. What? Most people think I am very deep in thought when I stare at them like this. I just run with it. Catherine bit her lip to prevent the chuckle from escaping, but the laughter burst out of her. He hasn't changed at all. Before she could stop herself, a mischievous smile appeared on her lips. No, no. Actually, it's your inability to make big gestures, Gilly. Huh? Well, look at you. She copied his tight, alert posture. You stand stiff as a board. I guess it fools people into believing you're a graceful, dashing soul. Gillamy made a pout. I am dashing, though. Maybe. Au contraire, monsieur. I did have the misfortune of being victim to your dancing. Must you always bring that up? It was a long time ago. He looked so distressed that Catherine couldn't help but tease him further. I mourn the death of my little toe, sire. I liked that toe. It was a traumatic experience. Before long they were laughing, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Why did it change? Hadn't it always been like this? Catherine settled back into her own skin, mulling the confusion in her veins. Kath. She looked up at him. Her own emotions stung her. You can't keep running away from me. She sighed deeply. Her hands tightened around her resolve, for lack of a solid thing to hold on to. Perhaps not, but I have already given you an answer. I am aware. I have tried to accept it. Please don't take offense, but I thought it would be easy. I left to clear my head, fill my mind with other things. Travelling usually does the trick. For a while, at least, I thought I was successful. But even during my trip, I would catch myself thinking such absurd things like, I wonder what Kath will say when she sees that. No, I don't think Catherine will like this too much. Well, Kath used to say. It was funny, but it was also a little infuriating to know that you never really left my mind. So I wish I knew how to do this. He sighed. I am too used to people leaving me. I do not know how to quit on my own. I must bother you, the amount of lovers I had in the past. I am sorry for that. I almost wish I really was that adept. But like I have told you, most were simply rumours. The rest of the people realizing I am not as interesting as they initially thought. Gillamy. They never stay long, Kath. Or could say I am amazed with first impressions. But there is a nagging feeling that I am never good enough for a sort of exotic trophy people like to collect for its sake, and then put aside when its novelty expires. I cannot blame them, but now I am quite sure I am what is wrong. I must be better at letting people go, but you... Please don't make me go. You see through me, Kath. In your eyes I feel like I am somebody worth loving. Is it any wonder I'd like to continue to think of you fondly? Old habits die hard, I suppose. Catherine bit her lip. Those are impressive words, sire, but do you have a point? My point? Well, it is simple, really. I don't think I'll be able to stop my feelings for you. You may reject me as many times as you wish. It will not change. I've already come to the conclusion that I don't mind. He shrugged. So, I propose either you get used to me chasing you, or you give in to my dashing, hero-mashing, toe-mashing charms. Catherine chuckled, despite herself. Or I could kill you with the Duke's fashionable vase. Oh, please do not give my superior that pleasure. I would rather you rip my heart out of my chest and ask for it as a dark sacrifice to the gods. Gory. Very poetic. Dashing points for you. You think so? I've been reading a lot of romance novels lately. What kind of romance novels are you even talking about? I figured I must learn to be more suave to make the lady of my dreams swoon. Is it working? Catherine laughed. Hardly. Yep. How much older is he than her? I'm guessing at least 10, 15 years, probably more. So, yeah. Creepy. Again, not uncommon for this time period. Still creepy. Hardly. I believe this is how they do it in the big finale. Guillaume cleared his throat and knelt down on one knee. He took Catherine's hand awkwardly, trying to act as natural as he could. His serious face made Catherine burst out laughing. "We folly, what in the world are you doing, idiot?" "Stop laughing, madame. I must try this at least once." "I'm simply concerned for an older gentleman and his knee. Will you be able to stand up from that position later, given your obvious grace?" Guillaume chuckled. "Terrible. Dare to call me an old man. Don't look at my age, you know." "Sure, sure." "Oh, stop laughing, will you? I am trying to concentrate." He cleared his throat again. Will Mademoiselle Catherine Pedry allow me an audience tonight? As such, perhaps she might allow me to stay by her side a little while longer. It would make me a very happy man." It was sappy and ridiculous, yet hearing the words did stir Catherine's heart. They were giggling like fools now, like children, her heart heavy with love for him. Love? Did she just think love? Of course she did. She had always loved him. Why was she fighting her feelings again? The reason seemed unclear all of a sudden. So yeah, back to the age thing. We are all aware of the half plus 7 rule, right? As in the reasonable boundary between which it's suitable to date, other people, age-wise. So it's basically the youngest you can conceivably date is half your own age plus 7 years. So, to take for example, I am 24. So your half that is 12. So the youngest I can conceivably date without it being excessively weird is a 19-year-old. Okay. And I'll be honest, that's the low end, and I find that a bit, that's a bit weird. The top end that you can date without it being weird is basically the same but the other way round. So you subtract 7 years and then double it. So in this case, it would be 24, 17, 34 would be the absolute top end of what it would be not be excessively weird for me to date. Fair enough. Good. Glad that makes complete sense to you. It kind of gets muddled around the point at which you have 13-year-olds, but frankly, if you're 13 and you're dating anyone but a 12, 13 or 14-year-old, yeah, I'll be honest, if you're 13, I'm surprised you're dating already. Anyway. Incidentally, that's also the formula Hollywood uses to work out the ages of their leading actresses. As in, take the age of your leading man, half it, and add 7 years on. Anyway. "Alright, sire. Your gallantry has convinced this lady to accept your offer. For tonight." She bowed with an exaggerated curtsy. Guillaume took her hand theatrically as he stood up. This gentleman is relieved he did not have to sing. "Ah, a few rules for tonight. As we are in Paris, you must be on your best behaviour. No embarrassing jokes like making friends with the street mimes." "Agreed. As such, I must retire by 8. 10. 8. 9:30. 9. Take it or leave it." Guillaume grumbled, but Catherine just chuckled at his frustration. "Fine. 9:15 it is." "Sire, I meant 9 sharp." Guillaume's face brightened like a little boy's. "Oh, I know where we can go. There is a quaint little piazza just south of here. They have a breathtaking view of the city. They're on a hill, you see. I know the owner personally. We're already guaranteed the best seats. And they serve the best pomme de terre. Right. And they serve the best pomme de terre to... Oh, bugger it. Classic. That is what... Okay. The problem is I actually really like French food. Say what you want about the French. There are many things they don't do terribly well. Food is one of the things they are absolutely fabulous at. Pomme de terre de gratin. Yeah, that is what I thought it was. It's an apple gratin. Right. Gratin? Again? If you continue eating that at every opportunity you get, there will be no potatoes left in all of France. Catherine sighed. Why must he be so... This better not be a game like all your other flings, sire. I deserve to be treated more than a prize. But Catherine watched Gullimy's face beam as he talked about that little house on the hill. How when the weather was perfect, the stars would soak the sky. And she giggled to herself with fondness. What a dolt. A night in Paris, and he would rather eat cheesed potatoes. Am I getting confused between pomme and pomme or something like that? Keep in mind, my French sucked. The quality of my languages are not my strong point, and the quality of our language department at school was pretty terrible. I only did 3 years of French, and I can't remember any of it. It was just like him to pick the stars instead of the city, wasn't it? It pleased her to know that she adored this side of him that others did not see. But was this the real him? Did she really see through him like he said? Or was this a face he put on for her sake, like most flirts could? If it was, then she had been watching his face since he was a little girl. From awe to admiration, from friends to lovers. They had seen the best and worst of each other through the years. Surely there was something to that. Surely it couldn't all be a lie. Right? Sorry, I got carried away. Shall we go? Yes. Catherine grabbed her coat and Guillaume took her purse. Oh, I almost forgot. Rosa's waiting outside. Then let us hurry up and meet with her. I haven't seen her for a long time. I missed her too. It will be a treat to spend the evening with 2 esteemed ladies. She'll be thrilled to see you. Just like old times, us 3. Yes. He slipped her hand on his arm nonchalantly and caught Guillemy's smile to himself. At the very least, let that smile be real. Well, that was a smash transition. You're lying! Lady Claudette saw you in Nîmes. Tears and snot ran down her face. She was holding a vintage 1610 bottle of wine. She gripped the neck of the bottle and flung it at the wall where Guillaume was standing, and he ducked just in time to avoid the glass. Cherie! Don't you cherie me, you bastard! Can we not take it out of my wine collection again? Catherine threw another bottle in response. Get yourself some throwing vases, dear. Incidentally, I will be incredibly impressed if anybody gets that reference. Same thing that the BMW saddle and the yell, "Wrong play!" come from. Sorry, throwing vases is one of my favourite references. It's great. I almost never get to use it. Stop, Catherine. You're going to hurt yourself. Hurt myself? Like you care. You tell me you're off to Avignon last weekend, but you're actually in Nîmes? Why are you making this into a huge deal? So I had to stop over at a neighbouring town. It's a lie if you omit things. I told you at the very start of this relationship, Guillaume. I want 100% honesty from you. I've told you as well. I have a reputation. Rumours follow me. Idle mouths can't help but chatter. Did you know that Lady Claudette once indecently proposed to me? And right in her husband's birthday gathering as well. So what? That's all beside the point. You know what they say, where there's smoke there's fire. How about a name to further torch the bush? Liliane de Monteclair. Liliane is a shop girl of the town, a nice girl. Or at least I surmised that from those 3 times I made the mistake to enter her shop, it looks like. Is there anything else you want to insinuate? Oh, nothing at all, sire. Why, is there anything I should know? Guillaume sighed and tried to speak calmly. Cherie, I promised you when we got engaged, didn't I? I will be faithful to you and only you. There is no one else. And Catherine gritted her teeth. Again with this! You're more vague than a monkey's spit! What the hell does that mean? Anyway. Answer me straight right now. Yes or no? Are you having an affair? Guillaume threw up his hands in annoyance. Merde, Catherine, I am not! I have already answered this. Why does it seem like you only hear what you want to hear? I just want to understand everything and make it crystal clear. Is that so bad? Now explain to me what Lady Claudette... Lady Claudette? You are taking that bitter, conniving woman's words over mine? Huh! Well, I try to get information from the source, but the source isn't very reliable. Guillaume's shoulders slumped in an irritated surrender, and she heard him curse under his breath. I am tired of this, Kath. This is a waste of time. What is the point of this if we keep going around in circles? Catherine snuffed, wiping her nose savagely with her hand. "You always do this. You always go off on a tangent, pick things apart. You don't even listen to my side at all. Could you stop acting like a child for 1 minute? Maybe then we can have a real conversation." "A conversation with a liar is always one-sided." Catherine grabbed 2 bottles this time. What would happen if she brought the 2 bottles crashing in front of her? Would the pieces of glass stab at her face? Her eyes, maybe? What a random thought. The morbid picture gave her an out-of-body experience. It was a nasty fight, depressingly familiar, but they were dancing to the same tune once again. Here be the lovers. Enter Lef, the hothead. Watch her dance with anger blazing. Tears are sparkling bitter rage. The fight goes on until she's spent, the reasons hazy in her head. Pan right, the rake. Both the victim and accused. Words are poison or an unlit fuse. Migraines taunt his pride and damper. He grudgingly takes on logic's mantle. The words they throw in fever pitch, the dance will crest, he'll choose to leave. Enough of this, he cries in rage. Temper rising, he exits frame. Her unspent fervour burning hot, she cries it off. The cowardly sod! What did you expect? She asks herself. He'll take abuse with a bowed head? The least he could do, her anger shouts. A hint of guilt, a hint of doubt. The migraine throbs and he is pacing. Annoyed and angered, his face aflush. Capricious woman, irrational! He shakes his head with a tired breath. Yet he basks in torture, savours the taste. This is love, he nods. This is love, he says. Love and pain go hand in hand. It is painful, yes, but never bland. He nips a morsel, takes a bite. Exquisite, he trembles. A rush, a charge. He feels his heart is struck by love, decides its worth is in the gripe. A dainty flower he must protect, to watch it bloom until it's ripe. But not right now, he says, still sore. His pride's too hard to swallow whole. Hours pass. He wouldn't call. She forms the words she knows will hurt. She plans to cut and make him bleed, yet when he arrives she all but weeps. Why'd you leave? I shouldn't have. Are you angry still? I'm here now, love. Her arms are snug upon his cheek. He'll promise to change, to do what's best. For both their sakes he admits he's wrong. A little lie to complete the song. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you love. I've got to say, this is one of the trippiest things I've played in quite a long time. Because seriously, did this game just have a poem in the middle of it? Because okay, I'm not averse to games having more poetry. This would be an excuse to break out my sort of rhythmic reading, but still. Sorry, for some reason my back is killing me this morning. Just tell me when you're tired of me, or when you find some other pretty thing, you bastard. Catherine slipped back onto her brain, just as the last sentence left her lips. If you're gonna leave me, then just leave. Stop playing me for a fool. This was a new tempo. She dropped the bottles to her side, but did not let go. She noticed the change of song and timed his step accordingly. I never once thought or treated you like a fool. I love you. I am never going to leave you. New tears churn and bubble from her eyes. Liar. It was her turn to leave this time, and she did. He was left to perform a solo. Contemplation, regret, penance, a vow of new beginnings forming in his head. Kath? Rosie! Rosie Wosie! Catherine stumbled into Rosa's room that evening, drunk to high heaven. Her half-lidded eyes surveyed Rosa's meagre space. She let herself fall on the bed, and regretted it instantly. The ceiling spun in a waltz of throbbing headaches and acid-laced throats. Bad idea. Catherine stood up, and her wobbly legs tripped her. Rosa caught her, and sat Catherine on her small bed. My goodness, you stink of alcohol! She propped some pillows behind her back, and fixed the stray hairs that had littered her face. Thanks, hon, you're a dear. How much have you had, Kath? Catherine counted on her fingers. Never mind. Would you like some water? Nope. Interesting. Huh? I can almost hear the liquid sloshing around in my brain when I shake my head. Rosa pursed her lips. Catherine was in no shape to make decisions right now. She stood up to get her something to sober up. But Catherine grabbed Rosa's hand and tugged at it gently. No, no, you. You sit. Please. Rosa complied. Catherine revealed a bottle about 3/4 full. Snuck another one from the Gilly Monster's closet. Serves him right for calling me a child. Rosa began to protest, but Catherine paid her no mind. Come on, Rosa. When did we ever drunk ourselves to the point of insanity? And I call you my best friend. Catherine took a huge swig of bittersweet liquor and offered it to Rosa. Rosa examined it carefully and took a mouthful. She goggled it in her mouth, admiring the sweet and sour flavour of the wine. I've never had anything this rich before. Good, innit? It had to be. It's the last bottle. So, you had another fight with Shush, 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 shush. Bad wind follows that name. I'm not talking about that egocentric pompadour tonight. We are going to drink. We are going to reminisce. And tomorrow we'll hate ourselves together. Agreed? Rosa giggled. If you say so. All right, last one. Rosa puffed her cheeks in mock disgust. Fine. How do you make holy water? How? Boil the hell out of it. That's a dreadful pun, but I actually really like that one. Well done. As a general rule of thumb, the worse the joke, the more I'll like it. Rosa and Catherine were assaulted by fits of hysteric laughter. Catherine felt the muscles of her cheeks ache. Oh, that is so bad. I don't even have the words. Catherine wiped the tears of laughter from her eyes. I heard that from one of your suitors, Sir Adrian. Rosa rolled her eyes. It does that occasionally. It forgets that she's only got the one eye. How come I always end up talking to your suitors more than you? I must start charging you a fee. I'll pay it with my gratitude. What's wrong with Sir Adrian anyway? He seems like a nice man. Nice hair, nice teeth, nicely groomed mutton chops. The woman laughed. Well, how about Sir Ferrand? He sent her that lovely bouquet of flowers. I'm not interested in a relationship at the moment. At the moment? You don't seem interested ever. I am. Sometimes. It's just hard to connect to people for me beyond physical. Relationships seem out of the question. You don't have any difficulty with me or that idiot in the upper room. You're not incapable. It's only because you're my closest friends. Well, there must be someone. Oh, you're so picky. If you go on like that, you might end up an old maid. So be it. I'd rather take care of your children anyway. I shall be the amazing godmother. Catherine smiled wistfully. I'm not sure I want any. What? Children. I love children, but it's a little scary. Catherine bit her lip. What if she became her own mother? It was such a terrifying possibility, wasn't it? She barely remembered her mother. Her malady had struck as soon as Catherine was born. She'd never called Catherine by her name, not even on the day that she had died. All she knew was that their family struggled with that crisis. Her father, exhausted and depressed, and her sister forced to grow up far too fast. To be a blight to the people you love, how horrible would it be? Catherine? Rosa smiled at her, interrupting her thoughts. You will be a good mother. Your past does not matter. Catherine stared at Rosa, almost enchanted at her ability to know what she was thinking. She really was her best friend, wasn't she? The thought warmed her heart. You really think so? Yes. The fact you're so concerned about them before they're even born speaks much of your kindness. Whatever happens, those children will grow up loved. Catherine blushed and changed the subject. Oh, we're out of booze. We finished it. I'm quite buzzed. Hey, remember the first time we drank? You mean the party or the potato incident? Of course I mean the potato incident. Oh, how can I forget? Well, by the sound of it, they tried to make some hooch out of potatoes, which, yes, you could do it. It's not a good idea. But either way, I think that's a good point to end this part. So I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next.